Alright, hi, I am Mira from the Ninjas, and I will be teaching you how to do selective coloring. There are an endless amount of ways that you can do selective coloring, really, but I'll be showing you about 4. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with, kind of a really basic idea, like if you were using paint or something and it had layers, this is what you would think to do. Alright, so I'm going to make a copy of the background by right-clicking or command-clicking if you're on a Mac, and then selecting Duplicate Layer. I'm going to call it Background 2. I don't know, it just sounds nicer to me. Alright, and then I'm going to desaturate the entire layer. So to do that, I will go to Images, Adjustments, and then Desaturate right over here. And then ta-da, it's all black and white. But this layer is above the background layer, which means if you erase this layer, the background will show through. So let's select the eraser. Alright, and then for my brush, I want to select this one, and it can be a little bigger, so I will click the right bracket, or I can go over here and actually move it. Let's go ahead and set it at 40. Alright, and then I can just erase that part of the image that I want the color to come through on. And as you can see, the color comes through. If you don't want it to look so choppy, if you want only part of the color to come through, you can change the opacity. I'll change it down to 54%, and we can see how it looks like with the purple. And as you see, it lets some of the color through, and you can really build up nice layers if you do it this way. Alright, that's enough for this method. Alright, the next one I'm going to show you is also pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the layer again, and this one will be background number 3. Alright, this one is my favorite method personally. I'm just going to go to Hue Saturation. I'm going to take down the saturation. So once again, it's all nice and black and white. And then this box right here is what you call a layer mask. And so if you click on it, you can edit it directly. And with a layer mask, white is the affected area, and if you color black on it, it won't be affected. You'll be able to see what I mean in a moment. So I'm going to take my brush tool and make it a little bigger than that again. 56 sounds good. Yeah, it looks like a good size. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch these over using this little arrow key right here. It'll just flip the colors for me. That way black is my primary color and white is my secondary. And then I can go in and it does about the same thing, except it's on one layer. So this can be really useful when you're doing this on a lot of layers. And then again, you can always mess with the opacity and the flow. The flow changes how much the effect actually happens. So let's see if I can make this leaf green. And if you were painting, it would be considered how much paint you have on your brush, pretty much. So get some nice effects with that. Take the flow over here, see how it looks in the purple. Nice and light colored. Yeah, but really just play around with everything that we teach you, because that's the best way to learn Photoshop. Just click buttons and see what happens. If anything happens, there's always Control-Z. Undo. Alright. And let's see. Another one I wanted to show you was taking your black and white image. Which is still erased. I should undo that. I'll just make a new one. Image Adjustments Desaturate. Nope. There we go. Alright, and then you can also create a layer mask here in order to do the same thing that we just did with the adjustments. The layer mask button is right down here at the bottom. It's this square with a little hole in it, and it just simply adds a layer mask to your selection, and then we can go back, have the brush selected, have black selected, and ta-da! It'll do the same thing. Which, personally, I think this is better than just erasing the background, because you can always go back and undo it. Say I want the middle of that to be black and white for some odd reason. All I have to do is switch over to white, color it in there, and now it doesn't have the effect. So, and one last way to do black and white. I'll just go to the background for this and hide every other layer. Alright, let's use the magnetic lasso for this, which is that tool right there. And let's go ahead and this time we'll make this one be the one that stands out. Alright, with the magnetic lasso you just need to click once and then drag your mouse around the object you want selected. Alright, now it's selected that object. Now if you wanted that to be black and white, right now you would go to Image and then Desaturate. But I want everything but that to be black and white. That way it's the selective color and the focus is on the middle of that flower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Select and I'm going to go to Inverse. And now everything but right here is selected. So what you want to do now is go to Image and then Desaturate. And there's always other ways that you can desaturate it as well, but this is just the easiest for me right now. And then ta-da! But as you can see, it's still pretty choppy, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. And this is always useful when making any type of selection. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and Control-Z, or Command-Z on a Mac, and I only did that part, so let's step backwards. There we go. Alrighty, so if you want to make it prettier and not as choppy, basically what you need to pay attention to is the feathering right here. What the feathering does, it'll select in a gradient the area around it. That way, you know, it's not as just harsh. So I'm going to set the feathering to, let's say 20 pixels. That might be too much, but we'll have to see. And then go ahead and reselect this. And also when you're using the magnetic lasso tool, if you just click, it'll add an anchor point for you. That way if you see it's not cooperating right there, I can just move it and click. Alright, so there's a nice little selection. And let's see, it should be nice and feathered for us, so let's go and inverse it. And then let's go ahead and desaturate it, and ta-da! Nice little color selection for you. Hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions, you can always email it to the Ninjas, put it on the YouTube comment section, and we will make sure to, you know, answer them. Oh, and this picture should be on the website if you wanted to use this exact picture. And, you know, ask us for more stuff. You know, tell us what you want. We won't mind. Alright, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye.